The Chicago Bulls have finally made their big move. Yes, that's right. They've signed Patrick Beverly. Yes, that's right. Patrick Beverly. Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz, of course, all back at it with another video talking, of course, men be here to talk about the Chicago Bulls and here to talk about the news that they have just signed guard Patrick Beverly to the team. Let's start with this. Patrick Beverly was on the Lakers this season, and he was traded to the Orlando Magic in a trade for Mo Bamba. And the Magic obviously are clearly rebuilding. They are not a destination for Patrick Beverly. They're not going to play him. And so he took a buyout with the Magic, and then he was basically able to sign with any team. Now the Chicago Bulls were looking for point guard help because Lonzo Ball still can't run and cut. And so they were looking at three guys in Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, and John Wall in no particular order. But we know at the top, though, actually kind of in particular order, at the top it was Russell Westbrook. He just made his decision to go to the Clippers because he didn't want to leave LA. Easy enough for him. Gets to stay on a team that's a potential title contender. And so you were basically left with Patrick Beverly and John Wall. And between the two, the Bulls opted to go ahead and sign Patrick Beverly. All right, so that's how we are here now with the Bulls making this move. Let me start by saying this. There was really nothing out there where you could go and get somebody and say, oh yeah, that's going to save the Bulls season. All right? So before I talk about this move and whether it's a good move or not, let me just say there really wasn't a move out there. The time to make a move was the trade deadline, which has long gone now, and AK and ME, VP of Basketball Operations, Arturas Kornishevas, and Marty Eversley, the general manager of the Chicago Bulls, didn't make any moves. In fact, they didn't make a single one. They made zero moves, zero, zilch, nada, nothing. And so now they're signing Patrick Beverly. If AK and ME think Patrick Beverly is saving the Bulls season, I don't know what to tell them at this point other than they're just being delusional. In all seriousness, folks, the worst thing that could happen right now is the Bulls go on a little bit of a run here, end up flirting with being close to 500, make the play-in tournament, and AK and ME somehow think that this roster is good enough that they need to continue it for one more season. That would be the worst thing that would happen because Patrick Beverly is just not the answer. Yeah, you could say he's a nice backup point guard for a contender, but the Bulls aren't a contender. They're just not. They're a fringe playoff team. And Patrick Beverly, I mean, this year he averaged 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.5 assists, a steal, and half a block with the Lakers. Shot about 40% from the field, not good. 35% from three, decent. 78% from the line. And his best attribute, his defense, really, I don't think he's he's a bit overrated to me. I think he's just a guy who trash talks a lot. He's loud, so we automatically assume he's a good defender. I don't think so. You guys remember what Russell Westbrook said, right? You know, Pat Bev be tricking y'all. He just run around and just talk. I kind of believe that to a certain extent. Is there a place for Patrick Beverly on certain rosters? Absolutely, right? Like I said, a backup point guard who can come in, provide some defense. He's not an elite defender to me, but some defense, and can give you a little bit of that ferocity, that toughness, if you will, and kind of give you a little bit, maybe shooting, just a little bit. He's not great, but that's really what Patrick Beverly can provide for you. Like a backup point guard with the Clippers, he'd be probably solid there, or with the Bucks, or with, again, the Nuggets, like teams that are actual contenders. With the Chicago Bulls, I mean, not going to make a big difference. Patrick Beverly being on the roster or not being on the roster makes no difference. Now, some could argue, Faiz, he's from Chicago. He's coming back to his hometown. Maybe he tries to light a fire underneath the Bulls players like Zach and DeMar and Vooch and all these guys, and maybe he starts to get them to play hard. And he very well could. But I don't want that in this aspect. I don't really want AK and ME to be convinced that this roster needs to be the type of roster you need to move forward with, right? again, the worst thing that could happen is we literally get to the play-in tournament and we're hovering around 500 and they're like, oh, we just need to get healthy. We need to get Lonzo back and let's go ahead and give this another run around. Like, no, we know the ceiling for this team. We know the ceiling for this team. So how do I feel about the move? I don't really care for it anymore because the real work to be done was at the trade deadline, and obviously they didn't do that. And so Patrick Beverly really doesn't do anything for me. I have no expectations for Pat Bev, and I don't think a lot of Bulls fans should either. Again, could provide some toughness. A point guard off the bench, position we need, sure, but it would make much more sense if we're a title contender, and we're just not. Let me know what you guys think. Just trying to call it like it is, man. Not trying to hate, call it like it is. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.